which is to pass our exams and gratified on the RPA notes. Okay. All right. So, Theophilus and Sylvester, you're welcome.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. I suppose Theophilus is still, as usual, will still be on transit in a way. Okay. Have I started the code? A moment, please. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we have another set of questions before us to I would say to challenge us onto exploring possible aspects or angles from which questions may come. Maybe not in this exact manner, but in a related manner. And as long as it's still within the framework, within the frame of the curriculum, yeah. So that's okay. All right, then, and let me also say, like the CEO will say, each time when it comes to exam questions, and I will say, oh, it's not all the materials outside there that one can use. Some materials they can be misleading. So, you would say that well, there is no bad knowledge. That's his own position. All right, that there is no bad knowledge. At least what is important is that individuals should be conversant with the world of knowledge. So, of course, it now behoves of individuals to go deeper, or maybe to explore to the left and right of any concept that may be shady or so. All right, so here we are. So let's start. Let's start. Okay. I'm sure you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So question one. Now, what happens if a read range activity is used with an Excel application scope?
I'll go with D.
Okay, I heard you. Okay, just expecting more. That's the reason for that silence, please. I'm sorry. Expecting and to be so sure that we are all together. John Amaya has opened the floor.
I think it's A, sir.
So we have two views now. Do we have a third one, or we want to trail? We want to trail a part, or one of the parts. We have the third option, the third view. The A says the workbook is opened, read, and quickly closed. The last option, D, says the workbook is opened, read, and remains open until it is manually closed. Yeah, other views, please.
I think it's A2, sir.
Okay.
Because I think if the file is open already, it tends to tell us to close it. So I think that's something to do with the file being opened or something. So it will actually have to open it, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would go with A too. Yeah, I think I will go with A. It is the workbook is opened, fine, it's read. We all agree with that. The issue we now have is with if it has to be manually closed. Manually closed or not. Okay, so yeah, I think what actually should happen is it should quickly close. It will quickly open and then quickly it is read and it is quickly closed. All right, I'm trying to do something. I can't see too well here. Sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah, let me use. Okay, since I'm using it, let me use this. So I'm squinting my eyes. Okay, so let's just go to the next one. That's actually what will happen. That's what. John, how do you agree with that?
I'm not convinced yet. But
Oh, okay. You're not convinced yet. All right then.
So what was your choice, sir?
My choice.
Like, do we have to like manually close it?
No, it will quickly close. It should be the first one.
Okay.
is that the answer Coursera chose? Or
That it will quickly close. The first option. Fine, it is going to open. It's going to read, and it's going to quickly have it closed. Can't see. Maybe I should have even asked you to do it from your hand so that we can move out from here quickly. So I was referring to this. The workbook is opened, read, and quickly closed. There's a problem somewhere. Why is it slow? Hello, did you see that?
Yeah, I did, sir.
Okay. All right, so I think that should settle it, I suppose.
Yes, it does. It does.
All right.
Sir,
Okay.
I think if it is the other way around, if it is workbook read range, it seems I don't know whether that one is the opposite of it. Maybe we should try so that in case the question says
It comes in another
in the other one.
Okay, if instead of the read range I selected was for Excel exercise itself. This is what you're asking me to change, to replace the read range.
No, we change everything. We are going to use a workbook with bench. You know, in workbook with bench, we don't need Excel scope, application
Okay.
scope. So if we do them, I want to know whether it's going to.
The workbook did not even open at all. Or maybe I did not see it. I think I was distracted.
No, I
Did it open?
get. No,
Did
I
it
guess
open?
it will not open.
Okay.
maybe the reason why, one of the things that when you are using workbook read range or maybe write range, you are the exec does not need to be installed. Maybe that
Yeah.
was the reason why that particular.
Yeah. It's explainable. You have points if you explain it that if you see it that way. That there is no, as it were, there is no application, a direct application to open that workbook, as it were, and so the reason for which is not even coming up at all. But definitely it's working at the background. All right, thank you for that. It can actually come in that twist. This one says if the, let me check through. Okay, if the continue on error property here is set to true on an activity that contains other activities, then all the errors that occur in other activities inside that activity are also ignored. True or false?
I'm fine. I don't have money. True.
There are two options here. Any other objection to what Joe and Sylvester said? Yes, it's true, actually. Yeah. So every other activity that is already inside that, the umbrella activity that has been set to ignore error, to continue on error, as it were, all the other errors will be ignored. Okay. Now, question 3. Send window messages is the recommended method to use when selecting from the following: hardware driver, send window messages, and simulate click. What happened? Well,
Am I the only one that
So
don't
I
get the
don't
question?
understand the question,
No,
sir.
I'm not getting the question.
okay, you don't get the question.
No. Let's separate it first. Okay.
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 Oh, sorry.
Is this in? Is it an error?
I don't think it's part of the question.
It's not part of it.
Is the recommended method to use?
I'll say false, sir. The question is somehow
It's pretty.
Because it's not specific.
because it's not
They
specific.
all
The
they,
send
they, they all have
windows
their pros and cons. It
can work
depends on
in the
what you are doing.
background. Simulate can work in the background, but hardware does not work in the background. Yeah, it's like simulating the movement of the mouse, like physical movement. So I guess false.
Oh, all right. Okay, other inputs, please. Other reviews. Okay, Mr. Adedigba.
I said I will pick first.
Okay, all right. It's false. It's false. It's another that has been lumped together. Okay, committing and pushing to JIT. That's what button is used to pull the remote files and rebase the current branch.
Full rebase.
This question, I think, is trading. I don't think UiPath would have said this question. All right, it's pull rebase. Pull rebase, yeah. This is another one. If a background automation must interact with a user interface element, no error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation being performed at the time the user interface element is needed.
Good, sir.
Okay, well noted. All right. Other views?
No foreground automation. Since the background automation, it will still work with or without like a foreground automation. Does not affect it.
Okay, that's I heard you. Let me check the attendance, see what. Oh, are you sure we only have 4 or so? Oh, okay then. Oh, all right, Vivian, you resume speaking. Oh, Shewojo.
Good evening, sir. I don't think the background automation has any effect, even if the foreground automation is not being performed. So I think it will still work. So it's
What?
yeah, it's true. No error will be shown. So it's true.
All right, I'm expecting other views, please. We just have 2 options here. So a PDP and an APC. Okay, there's no third. Okay, maybe an APC and a label. I think those are I really don't know. Don't let me bring that into this now.
So I think by what they are saying, the answer should be false.
Okay, why?
Because of the no. There's if there is no foreground automation. So that will imply that if there's a foreground automation, it should throw an error. But that's not true. So I think it's false.
Other views now. We have 2. So okay. The silence is has been extended. All right.
I think
Okay, go ahead.
hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you, and we are with you.
I think the answer is true.
Okay, so if you say true, it means that truly no error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation being performed. If you say false, you are saying that error will be thrown. That's a way to reconstruct it. You are saying error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation being performed at the time the user interface is needed.
So I think what this is saying is, it says no error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation. Meaning that if there is a foreground automation, an error will be thrown. And that's false because it's a background process.
Okay, still just I still need more. Not others. Many others have spoken. Yeah, I heard you actually. Okay, let me remove this. No error will be thrown if there is foreground automation being performed at the time the user interface element is needed. The background automation does not need doesn't need the UI element to interact with the UI element as it were. But if it must interact with a user interface element,
Without the no, the answer should be true. The true. Then with the no, I think it's false.
I think it's false, so because the background automation, it doesn't background and foreground automation. If the foreground automation is being this thing, it's to throw an error. So I think it's false.
okay, so we are having some. Okay, somebody still said no.
I don't get again. Are we removing the no now or what?
No, I removed the no to wait. I removed the no from my own hand. I removed the no to put the question in another perspective, maybe to help in reconstruction. Yeah, we already have no error will be thrown if there is no. That may confuse. So I removed this first no. The next attempt for me is to remove this other no and see. Oh, okay, what's that?
So I think in this case it is right, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, in this construction, it is true.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So by then returning it back to Control Z to what's the real question, and it's going to that means that it's going to be false. It's actually false. It's false. Okay, now some persons want to talk.
Yeah, I just want to be because anything background is unattended. Abby, unattended but is it?
No, not really. Oh yes, sure. It has to be unattended. But then
Anything foreground is attended. So what we are trying to say is that we want to do we are building a kind of hybrid automation. That is what we are trying to build here. So and if you said
no, I'm saying the context of this now, the background process, basically, you can't do anything. You can do other things on the system without it
what I'm saying
affecting
is
the process.
based on
But now,
the
with
that we have here.
foreground, Okay.
Sorry, based on the scenario we have here, meaning the background is interacting with the foreground. So meaning we are being in the kind of hybrid automation here. And if the background has a particular element that want to interact with in the foreground, and they can't find that, it's definitely going to throw an error. Am I making sense?
No.
So if there is no foreground automation, meaning there will be a kind of error.
No, background automation doesn't work with foreground. When foreground automation is in process, you can't run the background automation. It's to throw an error. The background automation doesn't interact with user. Is it user interface? Using English, they call themselves. It will definitely throw an error. Why you laugh now? Oh no, they're not up again.
Vivian, we're feeling you. Continue. Hello.
Me, I don't know. Let me check the answer.
Yes, I said it's false. Sylvester has another view to it. Okay, and he's trying to explain his own view. He's trying to reconstruct the scenario, put it in a perspective, kind of. Right. So, and then he asked if what he said, if we agree with it, and then I think it was at that point you said no. Okay. So that's where we are.
I think the main idea is that the foreground does not affect the background. They don't come together. Like
It's no. I've removed this no. I'm removing this no as. So if a background automation must interact with a user interface element, if it must interact with a user interface element, error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation being performed at the time the user interface element is needed. Is that true or is it false?
I think it's
false.
false. So error will not be thrown. Now you're saying error will be thrown if there is no foreground automation. So it's false. There is no error. It's only when the foreground automation is being on this thing, that is when error will be thrown. So my own knowledge now.
Okay, you are saying error will not be thrown. Is that what you said?
No, it will not be thrown if there is no interaction or if there is no user interaction between the program automation. If it's in progress. I'm not going to try to speak again. It will not be thrown. That's what I'm trying to say. Error will not be thrown if there is no foreground automation. It will not be thrown.
Okay, so
I'm
if error will
first, yeah.
I think it's mixed up. Okay, by what you said, error will be thrown. Error will not be thrown, and if error will not be thrown, and we are to pick from this option, it means that we'll pick false. And if I reintroduce this, then it goes back to.
Sir.
No, the thing is, the background process does not affect the foreground. But then if you have a foreground process and you are doing something else on the foreground, they will clash. So by removing the no from the error I don't think that will like create this scenario we want, like that they will negate each other.
Okay, Sylvester, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I am trying to get some things. You know, if we are doing a background automation, definitely our background automation is directly or indirectly working with the users elements or users interface. So, meaning
Did you
whether
say
the
did you
interface,
say it's working with? Did you say it's
I
working
said,
with user?
background automation we are doing is working directly with the user interface, whether it is opened or not. Definitely, we are is working with it. So now, if the whether there is foreground automation or not, it will continue its work. So if there is if the background automation will interact with the user, then I believe no error will be thrown. So whether there is
Okay, so no error will be thrown. That's I've heard things. Okay, no error will be now.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, yes, hello.
I want to say is it will bring out error, because normally if you are working on a system and you are doing a system on the underground and it needs a maybe yes or no, maybe a administrative what's the name, administrators input. I'm thinking it might stop there. It might not do anything until the user inputs input a what's the name, an input. Then
Until
it
the
goes back to
foreground is in place.
yes.
And if it's
So it
not in
goes.
place, okay, and if it is not in place, looking for what to interact with, it will throw an
It will
error.
just stay. It will throw an error, or it will just stay there for a long time. It will not. And if it stays there for a long time, you know it is going to throw an error. It's going to reply and say there was no reply or something, depending on the kind of maybe try catch, or depending on the kind of error
Okay,
handler.
so the option you are going for is what?
It's true. It will throw error. It means to throw error.
This one is saying that no error.
Error.
This one is saying no error will be thrown.
False there. It's false. It's false. It's false there. It's false
Because
there.
by your explanation,
An error will be thrown. An error will be thrown.
All right. By your explanation, combining it with other views, Sylvester's. Okay. All right. It's false.
It's false. So if a background automation must start. Okay. What's the answer now?
Yeah, it's false. False.
Okay.
Yeah, global settings properties will take priority over activity-specific property value changes.
False, sir.
But it is global. I'm just talking.
Yes,
Anyway.
sir. I think this is talking about global and the project settings. Like for instance, let's say modern now, the modern experience now. You know, if you have the global settings, that's from the home page. If you have the settings there, let's say it's at modern, then you go into your let's say you create a workflow. Then there in your projects now, you like alter these changes, like alter the settings now. It's the new settings that will reflect, not the global setting.
Okay.
Like, I think
Do you
that
have any other objection?
No, it's false.
Okay. Thank you. It's false. Thank you. Okay. Due to a software limitation, reading cells with a read range activity in an Excel application scope that have currency formats only retrieves a maximum of how many decimal places? These are cantankerous items. Open to trials to research. Due to a software limitation, reading cells that have currency format only retrieves a maximum of how many decimal places? Yeah, you say?
no, that's insane. Contemplate this. I'll go for
I'll go for 2.
visa.
I will just mention the. Yeah, you said 2. Someone said 3. Okay, and the third option, or the third person. Well, we can find out about this because the answer here is that we should check readrange UiPath.com. Let me check if there are other things. Okay, the answer here is 4. Yes, surprised. I'm surprised. Okay, but then you can find out about this. All right. Question this. Committing and pushing. Let me check other. Okay. Committing and pushing to cheat. All right. If you wanted to, all of those stories, there is just something they want. You would click add, then save. What does it mean when the message box appears and tells you the current branch is out of date?
It is false.
Yeah, you say what?
I think the answer is 4.
Oh, referring to the former question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right.
Sorry,
Thanks
did you
for.
check it online, Mr. Joe?
Yes.
Did you check the answer online?
Yes, I'm checking it online.
Okay.
Okay, you were able to capture the question.
I think so. Let me send the link to the code.
All right. So this committing and pushing thing to JIT. So what does it mean when a message box appears saying the current branch is out of date? Okay, which one should I pull out?
Okay. If you wanted to click on and to change to
The whole thing starts from here actually. All of those things are stories.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, I think the answer is the local repository is not synchronized with the the remote one. It means
Yes,
that
sir.
the synchronization is not connected. B means that there's no connection.
All
They are
right.
not synchronized. Yes, that's what it means. So
Okay,
you need to.
that is it. The local repository is not synchronized with the remote one. This is another true or false. Wildcards such as asterisk and question mark can be used for Windows File Explorer file path to work with variability. True or false? Sorry, false or true?
I think it's false. Yeah, I think it's
Okay, should we move forward? Yeah, it's false. When I take the UI, this is was, and I see a problem that shows the multiple property windows, and it's asking me a question about the multiple windows, and I feel overwhelmed. I will do the following. Okay, I think this one is a narrative. Or I don't know. Just look at it, read it. And this is what we call story. All right. So after this, I would like us to go on a short break for some good reasons. Okay, so let's just look at this and then we go on break.
I think it's A, sir.
It's A. Okay. I think what you are thinking too. Okay, is that Theophilus or Joe?
It's Joe, sir.
Okay. I wanted to know if Theophilus is ready. Okay, yes, I think also it's A. Yeah, it is A. All right. Of course, I'm not sure maybe this is a man-made question. A non-UiPath person uh, bringing in an input here. All right, so then I would like us to go on our 10 minutes break. We've not had it for some time, and I suppose it may be hampering some persons in a way, family persons that may need to, they are just coming back from work and they need to refresh or take their lunch. Sorry, did I say lunch? All right, take they need to take their dinner.
Lunch
And
now.
okay, some has not even eaten lunch. Okay, for those that have not eaten lunch, so please take your lunch now. All right, so you take your dinner and just 10 minutes, then come back to class because the time we usually close 10 p.m. So yes, that may actually not be too good for us to take our dinner. All right, so just for 10 minutes. So by was it
Thank you, sir.
by 8:15? Yeah, at least 10 minutes should be okay to do that. 8:15 we should be back. All right, thank you. All right. We are welcome back from break plus extension. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we can, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. Hope you enjoyed your break.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Did you see the string manipulation or the integer manipulation I did? Did you notice it?
Yes, sir.
I mean the int32 manipulation.
The notice.
Yes, from 8:15 to 8:17. All right then. Okay, so let's continue. Can we have someone read this? Joe, can you do that?
Okay, sir. When merging a data table from DT1 and DT2, and the output is set to DT2, the following will occur. A validation error will be thrown before execution. An error will be thrown. Okay, an error will be thrown must specify an unused data table. DT2 will be overwritten with the merged data. No data table will be affected. No new data table will be written.
When imagine a data table, the output is set to the following will occur. Error will
Data to true. The output is set to mention a data table. Okay. Okay.
I think C.
Yes, see, the data table will be overwritten with the match data.
Okay, any objection to that? Okay, it is. DT2 will be overwritten with the merged data. Yeah, Mr. Babalola, can you read this?
Managing project with GIT. What happens to the remote repository when you commit a change?
So we can't hear you.
Oh, okay, you can't hear me.
We can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Managing projects with GIT. What happens to the remote repository when you commit a change?
We can't
This
hear
should be
you.
the answer should be D.
D is in.
Okay, any objection? Any view, perspective? Yes, the answer is the local file is updated and the remote file stays unchanged. Which of the following? Sorry, John, away you can read this for us. Thank you.
So I didn't get that last one.
Okay, yes, it is. The option you picked. Is that not it? Where is it now? Local file is updated and the remote file stays
I
unchanged.
thought JIT is sending to the remote file.
No, this is the sorry. This is this managing project with JIT is just like that. This question is about JIT. It's about managing your program, your software, your project. This is the question. This is the question. What happens to the remote repository when you commit a change? Where do you commit change? You commit change locally. So what happens to the one that is at the remote end?
Push.
Okay.
Do you get that? Local
Yes.
file is updated, fine, and the remote file stays unchanged until you push it. All right. Okay, John, now where? Please. You are just to read it. That's all. Just to read it to the class.
So that is a digit.
This is time to wind up with my break. Okay. Yeah. Which of the following regular expressions will perform the following? Matches a single character that is a digit. Digits. It's about digits here. What do we use period for? What do we use W for? What do you use forward slash W? What do you use forward slash D for? What do you use forward slash X for?
That should be string. That should be string.
Okay. When a single character that is a digit. The focus is on digits.
I think it's C.
Not any objection.
What? C period.
So if the character had been a text, as it were, yeah. So what option would we have gone for?
So I didn't get the question, sir.
I said if the character that we want to match now it's a text.
So we'll go for the fourth one.
For the fourth, this
Yes, sir.
I thought this should be for space. Yeah, let me check this. Yeah, I remember you gave us a solution there. Can I recall the name now? Something Java. I can't recall the name. Yeah, Joe. I mean Joe. I'm talking about Joe. I'm talking to Joe. Something.
I recall, sir. Let me see.
You say?
I think I bookmarked it. Let me see.
Okay. Yes, I remember the scene around this when we had class for this. Well,
Yeah.
where is I hope I will be able to get it. Okay. Character classes. All right. So we have period here. This I mean dots. And if you come to this and you click on it, it tells you what it does. Matches any character except line breaks, equivalent to all of these operators. Okay, after the D, the W. Okay, yeah, we have this. The small letter. Yeah, matches any word character.
Sir,
Alphanumeric and others.
it is
Yeah, you say?
Java.
You say what? You've seen it?
Java and use.com.
Okay, Java and use.com. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So this gives us for word character, this not word when it's uppercase, this digits. So matches any digits character 0 to 9. Equivalent to so.
I think it's W, sir.
Okay, you said it's
That
W.
one is for Unicode.
Back to
But
where
they
is
said
this?
it's word character. So
No, you did want a single character that is a digit.
okay, this one is
I,
for
again,
what?
I was one that changed, that narrated the one with regards to what the real question is about the one that matches a single character that is a digit.
Okay, it's this, sir.
Okay, yeah, you are actually correct. Actually, you were and you are correct. I just wanted to get other views. Okay, we have this. One of our good friends is here. Let me check. Okay, you still have more. Wow. And do you still have how many options? Oh, 4 of these. Wow. Okay, let's go then. All right, have you seen this? The first option.
No, one is okay.
And then this.
Okay, these are the two options, sir. Okay.
The two options. Okay. No, we have four options there.
The
Oh,
third option. The third option.
let's see the third one, sir.
The third option.
This is the third, the one in blue.
Yes, this is the third.
Okay.
The blue one is the right option.
Okay, are we going for the third option for you?
Yes, I think the third option serve it right. Because they said the lowest is 5, Babi.
The lowest is what?
Can I see the question again, sir? Let me see the question again, sir.
The lowest should
We
be
just talk,
fatal.
it's,
Verbose is the highest. With trace.
They wrote
Yeah,
that,
trace.
they wrote that 1 is the highest priority, while 5 is the lowest.
No, this one's just talking about the order.
Okay. Yeah, so that's that number 3. That the third one is good.
The third
So,
one
sir,
is
can we see the third one, sir? The third option. I think it's this one.
The third one, sir.
okay, all right. Okay, that is it. Which are the following regular expressions we perform the following negate the pattern?
Sorry, I can't see what is on the C option.
This.
Yes, sir. That pie.
Let me use red to shoot it out.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. So what I should have done is to enlarge this.
I think I'll go with this, sir.
D. This is D.
Yes, sir.
Okay, other views. What do you use this operator for to negate the pattern? I think I saw it. Let me check.
So I go with the number 3 too. I go with the number 3 too.
Number 3.
Because to actually negate a pattern, it starts with that and ends with I think is it dollar? Dollar. It ends with dollar. So is that is it, sir?
Let me leave this place. Okay. Yes. What's the name of this sign now? I know it depends. It depends. But what is the common, most popular? Yeah, I think. Yeah, this is not UiPath. This is not RPA. This is just on a personal ground.
I think it's C.
Yes, it is C. It's just the name I want to get. So that actually is what is leading me to want to say what I want to say. Yes, we have had times when literacy and numeracy were the talk of the day. Of course, it's part of the commissions that ushered in the kind of education we pursue, that was pursued even before our independence, according to the history of education in Nigeria. Yeah, literacy, numeracy. In fact, that's what we call the 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. They are very important. Very important. But in this present time, literacy and numeracy will not do. We have to introduce another term called code racy. That's being literate in code writing. And we have to introduce it to our children early. I said it's not part of RPA. It's just.
I think it's called circumflex.
What?
Circumflex. The sign.
I know we use it. Okay. We use it sometimes when you want to, like you use it for. Yeah.
I think I use it to indicate that there's something missing there. That, like,
It has various usage. All right, so let me check this back. So it is C. #17. It's also regular expression oriented. Yeah, let me scroll down. Oh, I can't hear you. Please, can you put it on the chat box?
So I think this one B, sir.
I've not reviewed everything. Okay, then. Yes, let me, in case some other persons want to. Okay. Okay, so now, which of the following regular expressions to perform the following? Return a match for an alphabetical character between A to Z, either low or uppercase.
B, sir.
Okay.
B.
All right. I had you. All right. That's okay. Sorry, my user interface is my computer user interface is behaving strangely. 18. Selecting both send window messages and simulate type will result in the fastest and most accurate method.
True, sir.
Views, please. Other views.
It's true, sir. No, most accurate. Both.
I've not heard. Is Mr. Dedigba still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I think Vivian is pulled out. Amarachi did not even come today. Okay.
I think Vivian is back.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we've done this before.
You say what?
I thought we've done this question before.
No. I don't think so. Not exactly this.
So I'll say B, sir.
B, which is true.
Yes.
Selecting both will result in the fastest and most accurate. Which one is the most accurate?
That would be the default.
Is that true? The most accurate is what?
I think it's default, sir.
The fastest is what?
Send windows and simulate. But
Fastest.
the fastest simulate type.
That is the fastest.
That's the fastest.
Simulator.
But
Okay,
then
and the most
cannot
accurate is what?
So that's why it's not always accurate.
I didn't get what you said.
But I guess by integrating with send windows, it should increase the accuracy.
Sending window will increase the accuracy. Send window message.
Okay, nobody is speaking false. Theophilus. Theophilus. Simulate type is the fastest and most accurate method. So what happens when we enabled send window messages? Yeah. Surely, I cannot hear you. I didn't hear you. So if simulate will provide the fastest and most accurate, if it's going to be the most accurate and fastest method, so if you had send window messages, if you select the two, so is the result still going to be the same as when we use simulate type method? Okay. So it seems we are all agreeing with true.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I wouldn't know why the consideration here is saying that it is false. If you select Windows, send Windows messages and simulate, it's going to be fast. Because one is interacting with the code itself directly, they simulate, and the other one relating on the application. Should there be any conflict such that it will now slower it? Do you get my thought line?
No.
Okay. All right. If okay, so it's since it's established that simulate type is the fastest. And that's okay. And then now, and of course, what simulate type what it does is it's like using the programming language to interact with maybe the application in question, maybe a particular
API.
yeah.
I said API.
Okay. All right. So, and that makes it actually so fast. That's the truth, and that also the reason why it could work and operate at the background. And then in the case of send Windows messages, yes, it works at the background too, and it's like it's going to need some maybe it works like it interacts with the command line of the application that we are working on or the application in question. So now looking at okay, if both of them they are working as this is working with on the application, the code of the application directly, the other one working on the command line. So is it going to make it so fast, make it faster than when it is just the simulate type only that is working? So that's what I'm looking at.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, they send a Windows message is 50% less faster than stimulate type. So I think this
50% less than. Okay.
yes, 50% less than like is 50% less faster, less fast than stimulate type. So I
Okay.
think since send message gives accuracy, send message gives accuracy, and the stimulate type is fast. The combination should make it fast. That's my own thought. So selecting both of them will make it faster and will result in a fast and most accurate. Yes, that was I think.
Okay. All right then. Question 19. When fine-tuning selectors, how many characters does customer? Okay. That's
That is one. Exactly one.
exactly one. Question 20. All right. So this question, can read it, go through it.
I think it's B or C, sir. But I'll go with B.
Okay. Yeah. Someone is going with B. Which of the following activities will possibly be affected by a change in the value of delay between page? All right, views. Okay. Yeah, what we have here is extract structured data.
Okay.
Which of the following regular expressions extract structured data? Which of the following regular expressions will perform the following? Okay, that's already handled. This is for word, for text, paste.
So, sir, S is for symbol and D is for what, sir? L.
For space.
Okay, okay, S is for space. Then D is for what, sir?
Digits.
Digit. Okay.
In the selector fine-tuning page, the orange as in button indicate what?
E, sir.
Did you say E?
B.
Okay. B for Bola or Babalola.
Sir.
Okay.
Bola.
You say?
B for Bola Tito.
Okay. I don't know the choice. I don't know why you are choosing Bola Tito. I already mentioned Bola at Babalola. Any relationship with Bola Tito?
No, sir.
Don't worry. We'll talk after today's service. Okay, all right. That's just to clear sleep off our eyes for those that are in that category. Okay, so yes, this letter has been changed and it's ready for validation. Yes.
And when it is red, sir,
It means there is an
Invalid.
error.
then green means
It's
no error.
invalid. Of course, it's invalid. That's the right word. Yeah. Green means that it's ready. There is a pass. That it's validated. It's good for the selector is approved.
Okay, sir.
Which of the following this we perform the following matches? A white space character. Okay. I think let me collapse this. Okay, so space the S handles that. Okay, we have this before us for our consumption. Okay.
I think it's between A and C. But let's keep looking. I think there should be a difference. Let's see the difference here. Okay, they swapped places. A, sir.
What do you say?
A, the first one.
Okay, other views.
A is the correct answer.
Okay, no objection.
Yes, sir. It's
A is
no
correct.
objection.
All right, but we have 1 here, we have 0 here. So why is it? Why are we taking it?
From the expression, it says that city should be 0 because city comes first. Then food should be 1. So that there we have my name is 1. and one should be food. Okay, my name is one food. No, it shouldn't be.
My name can also not be citizen. From the
Sorry?
expression, the first expression, that one is the syntax is okay, it's correct.
Yes, but then the sentence itself.
No, the
I
My
know
sentence
name
the
is
doesn't matter.
sentence.
The sentence
My
does not matter. It's the
my name
logic.
is the logic, not the sentence now.
okay, and then it still is, sir.
Okay. Yeah. A. A has it.
Sorry, sir, we can't hear you, sir.
Okay. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear you?
We can hear you, sir, but it's a bit low.
Okay. How is it now?
It's better, sir. We can hear you clearly.
All right. So yeah, A, yes, A has it, regardless of the position of the index. All right. $26. Should I read this? There is one data table you wish to use in a filter data table wizard. DT7. DT7 is a data table with 4 columns each and with multiple rows. Columns 2, 3, and 4 are number, name, color, and direction. Okay, our number, name, color, and direction respectively. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4. Name, Stan, Jake, and all of that. Okay, so in the wizard, the input data is set to DT7, and the output data is also set to DT7. Row filtering mode is set to remove. And these are the parameters that name contains column or color contains red. What will happen if the activity is executed? I will say go back to the question so that we can. Okay, this. What happens if this is executed? DT7 is returned empty. An error will be thrown. DT7 is overwritten. DT7 is not affected.
Sir, can we go back to the question? Great. We are left with 2 and 4.
Yes, one of us is called Omotayo. What's his full name, please?
I think, is it Kende?
Okay, Omotayo. Okay. Oh, all right, Omotayo. Oh, okay, okay. That's true. All right then.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
To my own
I think it's
understanding, I think we should understand this row filtering mode is set to remove. So it means that he's saying that the row filtering mode is set to remove. It means that it should remove the rows of the former one, the ones that are inside, and leave the header. So it means that it should remove the rows and put in the new data. That's my own.
And so that means that it will be.
Let's see the option, sir.
Okay, okay. Yeah, the option. It is returned empty. An error will be thrown. DT is overwritten. DT is not affected. So in view of your
I
your
think this variety.
But I also think it's overrating, but I think my interpretation is a bit different.
Okay, how do you see it?
Okay, so can we see the question? Okay, so it says the parameters now are name, cadam, and color red. Then the filtering mode is remove. So I guess it will remove every every column now that has both every row now that has both, let's say, that have both red and cadam. So I think we'll be left with number 2 and 4. That's
Okay.
Jake and Sing.
Okay, how do we how do we undo this? Where is it now? Yeah, when in the wizard, the input data is set to DT7. Yeah, the input data table is set to, and then the output data is also set to DT7. What happens? Is there any tweak that is bringing into the whole thing?
You should overwrite it, sir.
Okay. All right.
It's filtering. Since it is filtering, I think it's just overwrite it.
All right. So this maybe all of this is just for us to read some newspaper in the exam. But the main thing is actually seems to, but it borders on this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we have another one. The global settings for the value timeout does not affect click activities.
I think it's false.
Any contradiction, objection? Okay, so we just go with that. It's false. Oh, sorry, the whole thing is even here. But then it's been explained by Joe before now. All right. UiPath background processes use UI elements on the screen to perform automation tasks.
False.
Yeah, you say what?
False.
False, sir.
Okay, yeah, false. Yeah, then this one, 29. All right, this ID, I mean, that's yeah, call it attribute, part of the attribute of a selector should always be removed to ensure the selector does not anchor to a specific item. Since this as in the IDX on pages are ID variable, it should always be removed to ensure the selector does not anchor.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, how do you say?
I think it's true, sir.
True.
Okay. Any other objection?
I don't think I'll tamper with that, sir.
As in just the way they said it. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm going for false.
Okay. All right, it's good. It cannot have the Republic or the Democrats always ruling us. You have to change things. Okay. Okay, you are going for false. Okay. So what's the our final view? Set true if this ID attribute should always be removed to ensure the selector does not anchor to a specific item. Okay, I agreed. Now, since these attributes on pages are highly variable, what does this mean, sir? Since the attribute it's is subject to change, I suppose,
Yes, sir.
and it's highly variable. So once we remove it from the selector, once we omit it, so it means that you'll be able to pick, you'll be able to select other Elements, specific items. Okay, Joe, why did you pick false? Yeah.
No, the thing is that what I know about this IDX is used for dynamic selector. And
Selector.
yeah, when you are maybe you are using it for static word, they always recommend that you remove it so
And
that
put
it won't
available.
affect the reliability, to increase the reliability of the gadget.
Okay, so you are still explaining why it is true.
Yes, why is this true? That is what I know. So the
Then Joe, why are you going for false? Like,
No, based on, I think also what is said. The thing
yeah,
is, I don't think I'll tamper with the IDX because, like, that's what it helps to anchor, like, choose where to click, the target region and all. So I don't think I will tamper with it. And especially since the pages are highly variable, they change a lot. So you need something that that is always going to be there, like a strong anchor or something. So tampering with this now will reduce the reliability.
no, I think sorry, I think what the question is saying is that the idea should always be removed to ensure the selector does not anchor to a specific item. Since the IDX on pages are highly variable, meaning that particular IDX is it changes. The selector changes. I mean, sorry, the anchor changes. So it was now saying that we should remove it to ensure that the selector does not anchor to a specific term, that it is not static in nature.
so sorry, let me come in. No, it's not instructing us to remove it. It's simply presenting that should we? I think it's a way of asking if we should or should not, based on, I mean, the way it's being rendered. I don't know if you get. It's not declaring that it should be removed. It's saying that is this true or not? Is this my statement true or not? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So that's the input I just want to bring in. So that statement, the first
But if
line
it is,
it's not cast on stone like it must be. It must no. It's not. It's
if the statement is referring to the dynamic aspect of it, it should not be removed. But if it is pertaining to static, it should be removed. So that is
so then it is false.
no. I place two scenario now. If it is dynamic, then it is false. Then if it is static,
Okay, and then is the IDX, is it and I think you mentioned that it's the dynamic attributes. Was it you or Joe that mentioned it now? So
Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes, hello.
Hello, sir. Well, me, I think, I still think it's true because the IDE, especially that example you showed us when we're doing the practice on the challenge, UiPath challenge, that challenge page, and you saw that the text box and the forms were changing. And each time those things changes, you find out that the IDX value also changes on the website. So I think the IDX is not reliable. So I think it should always be removed for dynamic. That is for the dynamic. What's the name? For the dynamic selector.
Selector.
Yes, it should be removed. That should be removed. That is unchecked, so that it will not affect the.
So, but
Yeah.
when okay, you mean the what's this site? This exercise we did on RPA channel.
RPA challenge, yes, RPA challenge. See that
Oh,
if you
I
do that,
actually
that the IDX will change. So if you leave it, it will still change. To
okay.
change
So
the
then
value.
then it's not static, but I guess it does something to
It's
like
not
increase.
reliable. Yeah, it's not reliable. So it's better to remove it. It's not reliable.
No, but now they are saying does not
That's my own
anchor
view.
to
That's my
specific
own view.
item.
That's my own view.
But since it changes, it means it does not anchor to a specific item. What do you feel?
I think it's still true because it does not anchor to a specific item. So it doesn't. The main purpose why you use the IDX is so that it can be anchored to a specific item. It can locate that item you want it to locate. I just think it's still true. It's To me, it's not useful. That's what I think.
Let me see if there is any. Yeah, it's a little. Okay, let me see this. While it is, can we see the explanation down? Let me. While it is best practice to remove the ID, so agreeing with that. Most of the time, when the other attributes is 1 or 2, it is often necessary to keep the attribute IDX. When the attribute is 1 or 2, it is often necessary to keep the IDX. So the IDX, the attribute should always be removed to ensure the selector does not anchor, since the attribute on pages are highly variable. So by this position, by the input, this explanation is bringing in. So it's saying it is false. Oh well, yeah. Well, of course. I think this is still subject to some our practice. But by the explanation they provided, so they are invariably pointing at false as the correct option. And of course, the positions you presented without this explanation makes it to look true, to be true. It's okay. So question 30, and that is the last question here. Yeah. What is the best way to read an Excel file if you do not have? Oh, sorry. This should not have been included. Sylvester already handled that for us today. It's as fresh as roasted corn. All right. So okay. So thank you. There is still, and let me see. It's just very few. Let's see if you can go through this. It's not much. This is just like 10 questions. Maybe I understand we should call it today. So let's just move fast on this. Even if we do it in 5 minutes, I'm okay. Now, which of the following is false about what you can do using the workflow analyzer settings menu? Which of the following is false about what you can do using the workflow analyzer settings menu?
The answer is already showing.
The answer is already.
And it's already showing.
Oh, I can't. I don't get the logic.
I put in disable rules twice.
Okay, you said the last one. You meant the last one.
I said the last one is we are seeing enable and disable rules. I was not saying that you have shown the explanation.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now. I didn't see that. Okay, well, does it really matter? Okay, let me reveal everything then. So make it go smaller. Oh shit. Okay. This is the question. Okay, for your view, we have enable and disable rules. Change the default action for each rule. Configure rule parameters. Access the documentation page for each rule. All right. So yeah.
It's add new rules that false.
That is false. Is these things are very they can be very sneaky. All right, so it does other things except for adding new rules. Yeah, if a trigger runs the same process multiple times, the related queue jobs are not limited to the number of executions specified when you defined the trigger on the execute target tab. So the question is, are the related queue jobs limited by the number of executions specified when you define trigger?
I think it's true, sir.
More views. More views, please. More views, please.
I think it's B, sir.
True.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I think it's still true. I just wanted to explain why. The trigger is the one that makes the jobs to run. So without the triggers, the jobs will not just execute on their own. So the trigger is the one that makes sure it runs. Without the trigger, the jobs will not run. So yeah, we have different kind of triggers, the time trigger and other type of triggers. So without the trigger is to for it to run at a particular time. So it can run the same program at a particular time for the particular period. So if you have a time trigger, it can run multiple times. The time depending on how you configured it. So the question is a bit very tricky, sir. Very, very tricky. Because some of those jobs are time bound. So
I'm
it might
looking
not
at it that I'm also looking at it that so can the related queue jobs are not limited to the number of executions specified, and it's like he's saying that is it only trigger that can execute? Does it sound like that?
Yes, sir. Something like that, sir.
Okay, so let's answer that. If it sounds like that, that's reconstructed manner. Is it only trigger that can execute?
For unattended robots, yes.
And here they did not specify those, they did not put classes. it's a question that is meant to.
Why I chose B now is okay. So since it's like
Sorry, you need to repeat what you when you started. I was thrown out. Sorry, I was thrown out. Please repeat what you. Yes.
Okay, I was saying that since it's like reopens the job multiple times, it means it's considered them as independent jobs. So if it's going to tackle them too, it will also do it that way, to treat them as independent jobs. So the number of execution will be like to affect only that particular job. So it will not affect the other ones, even though they are from the same source. They are the same job. That's what I think.
Sir, but a job is started or is run by a trigger. As far as you're talking about
Okay, yes, it started as a process. So now let's say one process now, there's a trigger for it, and then it should just come up once, end the process, and that's it. But now, in this case, it keeps triggering multiple times.
No, it depends. We have different kind of triggers. We have time trigger. That is scheduling. Okay, you can schedule it to run in a particular time in a day. You can say, okay, by 6 o'clock in a day, it can be running until you start to say, okay, it's going to stop. So every day it runs at 6 o'clock. Or maybe it's a kind of alarm trigger that alarms the clock that, okay, it's time to close or it's time to shut down. You understand what I'm saying? So it can be a kind of time trigger that tells the job to run in a particular time for a particular period. So I still think that is true because without the trigger, the process will not run. Yes, now different times.
The number of execution specified.
Same process multiple times. That is the same. It runs multiple times. The same process. That same process of alerting people that it's closing time is by 6 o'clock every day, 6 p.m. every day, or maybe to wake people up 6 p.m. every day. So it's every day it runs the same time. The same time.
Now, number of execution. I think it should affect it though.
I don't understand. Jobs are not limited to the number of execution. Specify when you define the trigger.
Okay, now let's say it says okay every hour now it should be triggered. But now you like set an exemption that okay, this stuff should be triggered 8 times in a day. So
it can also do that. It's the same thing. It depends on what you specify.
So it's still the same thing. It's going to it's true.
So in that case now I think it's 8 times, not 24. What do you feel?
The same process multiple times. Maybe it's the trigger is supposed to trigger it 8 times. So it's going to run 8 times. It means that the trigger is the one that is making it to run. Yes. So without the trigger, the process will not run. Without the trigger, the job will not run. The project will not be done or will not be started. So I still think it's true.
So in this case, I think it will be false now. I mean, let's see the question.
Let's read the question again so you understand.
They are not limited.
No, it should be true. It should be true.
So you mean, okay, let me use that analogy again now. You set it to a trigger for every hour, that like it should be triggered every hour. So there are 24 hours in a day now. But then you set an exemption that, okay, the number of execution should be 10 times. Okay. So how many times do you think it will run?
10 times.
So in that case now, the number of execution, there are 24 hours in a day. But now instead of running 24 times, it's run 10 times because of the number of execution you chose. Now it means that the number of execution will determine how many times the trigger will be initiated. Yes. So in that case, it is false.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It will be affected. The number of time that the job is executed will be affected. So it will limit the number of time the job is supposed to be, and not limited to the number of time.
Sorry, but the question is in related field jobs, not is he referring to the previous jobs?
No, I don't think it's any previous job. They did not mention any previous one.
Just a related queue. That is in the same queue now.
Okay, all right. Thank you, gentlemen and gentlemen. Yeah. I will just provide by the perspectives that is being thrown into the question. Yeah, the answer, the favored option is false, except if there are other if in practice maybe there are other other settings, other things that that will be added. But in view of in the context in which we have put this, it comes to false. Is there the related queue jobs are limited? That's all. Question 3. Match the definition with the correct term. Maybe I should just. Okay, match the match the definition with the correct term. Dash track event related to you installing UiPath Studio. When running the Windows installer .msi, all the errors are logged in an event viewer. That's the setup logs. Number 4, a business exception describes an error rooted in a technical issue, such as an application that is not responding. Oh, it's already reviewed, but yeah, okay, yeah. But then I'm too sure we would have tackled it properly too. That's that. Okay, what do we have next? Okay, question 5. Match the definition with the correct type of log. Dash are diagnostic log messages generated by Studio. containing information related to its behavior.
No, we cannot see what you are reading, sir.
So sorry.
I can see it. I don't think it's global.
Okay. Can others please check?
We can see it now. We just
Really great. Okay. Yeah. Match the definition with the correct type of log. Those are diagnostic log messages generated by Studio containing information related to its behavior.
Studio log.
Okay, so we move. For the workflow analyzer, what does the NMG in the rule presented in quotes represent? Shows that the rule is part of the naming rules category, shows that the rule is part of the design best practice category, reveals that the rule is built into Studio, shows that the rule is part of project anatomy rules category, reviews the rules identifier.
I think you see, I'm not sure, but I think it's this.
So
NMG.
that's the NMG, yes. And well, it's a convention in naming variables STNMG 001, and they have their, let me show this. Okay. ST reveals that the rule is built into Studio. NMG shows that the rule is part of the naming rules category. 001 is the rule number. You can, I'm sure we did not get here. We can explore that. Check it out. Page 7917. All right. Where will the result of workflow analysis be displayed? Where will the result of workflow analysis be displayed? Message box, output panel, outline panel, error list panel.
Output, sir.
Output panel.
So any other view? Where will the result of workflow analysis be displayed? Okay, you said output panel. All right. No other contrary view. Result. Let me look at the. Where will the results of workflow analysis be displayed? The results. Okay. Actually, output panel. Let me check. The one we did here, we have it in. We have output, error list. So we'll check these two. Output. Execution started for file. Yeah, you say?
I think the error list is just for errors.
So let's practicalize the error list.
Let's maybe put a message box without
I didn't hear Theophilus talk today. I didn't hear Ademola. I hope you guys are fine. Then Showoju also did not, I didn't hear him at all. Okay, data read successfully. Don't worry. All of us will close together. This is the REST output panel. Execution started. Error list. What do we have here? No errors found.
I think it's just for errors.
It's just what?
It's just for errors, like exceptions or something.
To log error messages.
Yes, sir.
All along we'll be getting it at output panel. You are wondering why I'm doing that. Does that call? Should that call for practice, Mr. Adedigba? I'm sure you are
No,
wondering
sir.
that.
No. I do. Well, in analyze file, I thought we did something yesterday about something analyzing files, and it's brought out the answer in error list. That was what I was thinking.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. All right.
That was Windows this thing, file documents now. Have we?
Yeah, you said what?
I think that was the file, like a document in Windows, where we had a notepad or something.
No. Is that this analyze file? That's the maybe debug. Let me. Okay. Design this analyze file there at the beginning.
Yes,
Is this some?
that's like a Windows document. We opened it yesterday.
And we opened it yesterday, so we now saw we were navigating between projects, all these things yesterday in Ego list
Yes,
file.
but
The
that
reason,
option is not here now.
and no, as in is we were navigating it in Ego list panel. The reason why I say you should try and find it in order to know to be sure.
Okay, when we used analyze file, is that what you meant? Is that what you are referring to?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It seems we used the let us okay, we're analyzing projects, workflow analyzer. Okay, I can see that.
So we can even see the shortcut there. It's showing there run analyze project, shift F7, analyze file F7, validate project shift F8, validate file F8. So it's showing there.
Sorry.
I think it will still come up with the same results.
Yes. Now
No,
what the tweak Sylvester is bringing to it that makes it interesting to note is it's not talking about results. I don't think it's just talking about results of workflow. It's talking about result of workflow analysis.
Analysis. Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Do you see what Sylvester is saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sorry,
so.
am I speaking your mind?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Immediately I saw just my
Yeah.
to what we did yesterday. So that was why I said thank God.
If it's the result of workflow, surely output panel or result of workflow analysis.
Is error list now.
Yes. All right.
This is what I was saying, that is what is in error list part. So I don't know whether it's
So you are correct. Result of workflow analysis. Yes, you are correct. It's a error list panel. Okay. Yeah, this is oh, we are beyond 10 again. Okay. Okay, this is the only you only need the try field completed in order to use the try catch activity.
False.
Okay, false. No, no reason to argue anything. All right. An application exception describes an error rooted in the fact that certain data which the automation project depends on is incomplete or missing.
I think it's true, sir.
Yeah, when there is a technical problem, so we relate that to what when there is a problem from the user, maybe input, you want to impute text, you impute, also impute integer, impute we call it alphabet or so, or something like that. All right, so an application exception describes an error. Okay. Now, an application exception is it relates to which of these? The system exception or the business exception? Which one?
no exception.
Yeah, you say?
Application exception.
No, a system exception. Okay. So now a system exception describes an error rooted in the fact that certain data with which the automation project depends on is incomplete or missing. So which one is that? Is it true? Does system exception rely? Is it rooted in the fact that certain data with the automation project is missing or something?
Since it's talking about data, should be false, because I think business exception should do that.
Okay, so that means that this is what the answer is.
I think it's true, because okay, so
I think it's true.
You say what?
But the reason why I said it says certain
Sir,
data.
it's true, sir. It's true. It's true. It's related to data. The application, what's the name? Exception comes up when maybe a field is not found. This has to do with state machine. So
Sorry,
if a field
repeat what you just said now. If a what?
A field is not data now.
Hold on now. A field where the data is filled now, where like in the Excel sheet, where you have your information for a particular what's the name? Maybe employee list or maybe a staff list, and in the process, maybe the name or the password or something is not in that field where it's supposed to
be. What exception is it going to throw if a name is missing?
It's an application exception.
So that
is it? No, I'm sorry. What is that? Please let's talk about that.
I think if a name is missing, it should be application exception. But now with business exception, The
Mr.
builder now of the project will determine the business exception. But
Okay,
with
Sylvester.
application exception now, it can't just run without it. But
Okay,
with
sorry.
business,
Okay, Sylvester, you want to say something? Sorry for cutting in. Sorry. Sylvester,
Sorry, I know what I want to guess is that application exception deals with the system exception. Anything pertaining the code, everything, the like
technical. Okay.
errors,
Application not
technical.
running.
So
Application
that is,
crash.
but business exception not to do with the user. Maybe
The
you
user.
added invalid input, all those things, error in all those. So it's talking about the data. So, and this one is not, the question is now telling us that is the an error rooted in the fact that the certain data, since they call it data, meaning it's referring to business exception.
I think I belong to the party of Sylvester. I don't know if you want to defect to that party. I think this is actually a business exception. Yeah, because it borders
You are
on.
right. Sir. You are right, sir. It depends on. You said it depends. Depends on. So you are right, sir.
Yes.
The authentication depends on that missing item. So yeah, I understand. It's true, sir.
Okay. All right. So it's false now.
Yes, it's false. It's false. It's false.
Okay. Thank you for coming to our party. All right. Yeah. Then the last one, I suppose. Okay. So when we enable an CLA, sorry, did I say CLA? No, an SLA. Would the association between the process and the queue automatically be made? Do you remember the SLA in Orchestrator? That's where we can adjust this threshold of amount of items we want the system, we want the queue to process the number of items that must have been processed. So if we don't have if so a particular number of items have not been processed, then there should be a kind of flag or an escalation, a notification that this the so amount of data that is expected to be processed for a particular period of time has not been processed, and so some adjustments can be made. So do you remember the SLA feature in Q? It's that button that Mr. J said we could enable or disable, as in it's not an aspect we explored anyway. So if we enable that SLA, the association between the process and the queue automatically, the association, okay, will the association between the process and the queue automatically be made? Oh, so it's yes.
Yes, sir. It's true. It's yes.
Yes. All right. So that's so we have come to the end of today's class. So we hope to. I suppose we'll have to, by tomorrow we'll go on the PDF that was sent to the Telegram page. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Please, I don't know what you said concerning the initialization yesterday about the queue item, all those. I don't know whether we researched on it. to
Sorry,
know
the what? Okay, the dispatcher thing. Is that the one you're talking about?
exactly the dispatcher and the performer. So I don't know whether any one of us did something about
Okay,
it and we're able
yes.
to.
I did not. I did not. It was the same position I maintained. Okay, so but yeah, yes, it's good you are bringing this up. Let's just quickly, um, deal with that. So, did anyone make any um, extensive research on that? If I try to find out. No, so none.
So the web I try to check the state machine and to look at the but the only state that I know that they load the config which contains the queue name and others is the initialization. So I just saw that in transaction, get transaction the way they was processed, they process the queue of those things. So I want to still be convinced so that be able to know the right
Hello, sir.
Okay,
I
option.
actually did research. I did the
okay,
research on it. Actually, the dispatcher is the initialization stage, and the performer is the get transaction and the process stage. I did this research on that. I read a lot
okay.
of
Sorry.
reviews.
Let me get it again. The dispatcher is
In
the initialization state.
initialization stage, yes.
The
Initialization
get transaction and all the other one
and
process
the
is
process, yes, is the
is
performance. Yes,
so,
is the performance.
That is what I want to try again because today
So
I
what's
was
the
just looking at
process transaction?
okay. Yeah, Joe, what are you
Yes,
saying?
I asked what is the process transaction data?
Are you asking the house? I don't get.
Yes, I was asking him. He said the this thing is the initialization stage. The
Dispatcher.
config where you fetch the config file now is the
Yes, yes. It has a place there where you can place. It has a place where you can
is
place
the
the dispatcher.
dispatcher.
That is activity, right? The dispatcher
Okay, so the
activity. That is
init
the
is the dispatcher
yes. Why the performer is a
to get
transaction
transaction
and
data. So now I asked what is the process transaction data?
a lot of things
I
to be
think what
done there. A lot of things. There are different performance you can do there. Different activities you can put there.
I-
There are different activities. Hello, can you hear me?
okay. Okay. So it still means that the debate is inconclusive. So we cannot still um, announce the winner since the election is inconclusive. So, okay, I mean on the class note, what individuals based on your workings, of course, you know the path you are taking now. All right, it's the path for those that have made research. They understand the terrain they have trod so far. All right, so um, it's
Hello,
still
sir. Can I send something to the message box? I just
okay.
got it from online. Let me send it. Let me just paste it there. It's just somebody's, and a lot of other people have said the same thing.
Okay.
Let me just copy it and paste it.
Gbadebo, you came in when we were about closing.
So, sir, I've sent. I sent the 2 reviews that I got, and the other ones too. They almost all of them
Okay.
are saying this.
Where did you send it? Is it this place or Telegram?
This place, sir. This place.
Okay, I've not
On
seen
the
it.
meeting chat. The meeting chat.
Okay, it's coming up. You have to keep your dispatcher logic inside first. First to run in the init state. So if you get any exception, it will not go to first to run so multiple times. Dispatcher will not execute. The rest of the really would work as performer. I usually put dispatcher workflow in initialization stage and upload all transactional items to the queue. I usually put dispatcher workflow in initialization stage and upload all the transaction items to the queue. Okay. Read. Well read. Good piece. All right. So all right then. So